Going back Navy, I thought our effort pretty solid the whole game. We gave up some plays and missed some plays, but all phases, pretty pleased with the way the kids battled, came out. We had a couple tough losses, a couple weeks of a lot of effort and emotion. To do it again was, I think, a positive to show that we're gaining with maturity, physically, mentally. How to keep bringing it. Still not good enough. We're still short, and we're not satisfied by any means. But I do think with some of these guys to do that was a positive sign. Going through our stuff, special teams, thought Mitch Ewald did a good job. All his placements, the kickoffs were really, really good. It was probably our special team player of the game. Didn't have anything glaringly negative in kicking. Didn't have anything glaringly, pop out as a positive. Didn't really make any big returns. Didn't have anything kind of go against us. It was a good kicking effort. We got to keep making some hay there. We've had some games where we've made plays, and it wasn't bad. It was just kind of an even deal. Looking at it defensively, giving up the 31 points. It was a little bit more than we needed, of course. 0 turnovers created. Had an opportunity to get a couple got out, didn't get to. Getting some stops in the red zone. We're just, still allowing guys to score a little bit too much. And they were 50% on third down. We did reduce some tackles. We did tackle better in space. The fourth down stop at midfield, creating a scoring opportunity for the offense. So there was some positives there defensively. I think we had on the 350-something, and for the way we've been playing against that offense, it needs to be better, but it was a decent outing for the defense. Offensively, we had 2 turnovers that hurt us. One was really not a good play call. Just a combination of the routes that we had called and the way we called it did not match coverage. We kind of put our quarterback in a bad situation personally. We did have a fumble get out. We got it back. Very lucky there. That would have been a huge play where we had a fumble. So we weren't as good with the ball, which haunted us. Had some missed assignments that popped up at critical times. You're always going to have some busts, but we had some at critical times. We got to sustain, finish some blocks. We're getting 3, 4, 5 in the running game. We need to keep pushing to get more. I said the other day, if you go on the road and you kick field goals, it's not a good formula. You need to get touchdowns and take their crowd out of the game, and to kick 3 field goals was disappointing. We were decent on third down. We did score every time we crossed the midfield line, which was good. But again, we just got to be more efficient offensively. Their style of play makes it a fast game. Again, Mitch Ewald, we had as the special team player. Greg Heben was our defensive player of the game. Will Maddie, who's been solid all year, was our offensive player. And then the young guys doing well for us, Paul Phillips, who had coming off a broken foot, actually played tackle for us last week to work the veer game and get up on linebackers. But Paul Phillips and David Nelson, who's a walk-on quarterback, was our option guy that's done a good job for us. And then Chase Parker, a linebacker, and Simeon, let me say this right, Okadabu. I said it right? Okadabo. I think it's right. Okadabo, who's a walk-on from upstate, started, I think, at Akron, that is a transfer walk-on. Those were our defensive scouts a week. So, again, disappointed to get the loss. Still, not moral victories or we're getting, but I do think to come back and play hard, play with good effort, to really have the game in our hands for the whole game, I think shows that, again, we're getting there, but again, we're still short. So we got to keep pushing. We've challenged the coaches, challenged our players to keep bringing the energy to the practice field, and we need a good week because we got 5 remaining games in the Big Ten, 3 on the road, and we're really just focusing, 1 week at a time. This week, Illinois, they've had an off week, and they're like us, looking hard for a win. It'll be a tough battle, so we need to have a good week, and we need to take it on the road. We need to get a win. It's going to be a difficult challenge, but this team needs to start winning. So with that, questions?
How much of getting over the hump is simply doing it? It sounds like a strange thing, but just the belief that you're going to, because guys start to tighten up when you get into tight situations if they haven't been in it before. How much of that is just belief that they're going to win the game?
Probably for where we are, a significant amount of that, I think. That's a good question and something we've talked about. And I think that belief, we actually showed a couple clips the other day when it's 30-30 and we went for a maximum block, we actually showed them the effort, and then we actually stopped the tape, and there are 8 guys looking to see if he made it instead of fighting to make the block. So you get to a point where you start looking and hoping and wanting someone to make a play instead of you just playing as hard as you can. You do your job, whatever that job is. Clear out route, backside reach block, stalk block, play fake, handoff with good action to quarterback, hit the gap, deep third, fit the A gap, whatever your assignment is. Do your assignment. Again, we are in position where in our time, we went from maybe significant plays, needed to win a game. Now it's a play. But to do that, we got to believe we're going to make the plays. I think everything that we're doing, the way we practice, the way we've got things structured, creates winning habits. We try to have a reasonably disciplined lifestyle of what we're doing on the field, off the field, in the locker room, practice field, in the community to do things right, and this should transfer into games. So let's keep believing that what we're doing works. Let's keep doing it. Let's find a way to make it work. So it's not one individual. There's not one play. There was a turnover at the end of the game. There was many plays way before that one that wins that game. So the belief deal is a part of it. But again, you cannot hope. You cannot be frustrated. You cannot be negative. All you got to do is keep working, stay positive, and let's go get it done. So, but talking about believing and actually believing is 2 different things. So how we get to that point of truly getting that embrace, we'll see as we move forward. Well, their totals, as far as win-loss, maybe doesn't look good, and they've had some injuries. Had some guys, I think they've had a hard time getting in rhythm. They've played a reasonably tough schedule too. Went to Arizona State, they've played Penn State, and at Wisconsin, at Michigan here recently. So they've gotten 3 difficult Big Ten games. So that being said, they lose Louisiana Tech, who I think just put 70, only had 850 some yards the other day against somebody. I think they had 450 rushing or passing and 400 rushing. So I've got Louisiana Tech in my top 25. I think they're pretty good. They've got 5 losses to teams that are really good teams. I don't know if that's a slide of them. Their defensive front, very athletic, pressure, match and man coverage with athletes. I think they're one of the best teams in the country in 3 and outs. I think they're in the 10th or 12th in the nation in that regard. Giving up not a lot of yards. They have given up some points. They've turned the ball over. Their offense hasn't. It's put their defense maybe in some tough situations. Offensively, they've had a little bit of struggle, and I think that's, maybe a new staff, but, you got a quarterback like Nate Shieldhouse, and he can run around. He gets an ankle sprain. Their other quarterback is a really good player, too, but it's not exactly, but similar to Northwestern. One's a little bit more of a runner, throw guy. One's a little bit more of a pocket guy. So I think with Nathan's injuries, they've had a hard time just getting their offense in flow. Are we athletic run around, move the pocket, we'll play action, take our shots, because he can do that. And I know Shieldhouse well. I had him in camp in Oklahoma for a couple of years. His dad played with Coach Stoops at Iowa. So, I recruited a kid. And, he can make shots, but his ability to do the quarterback run game and get you in space like Braxton Miller can, like Kane Coulter can. He's the same kind of guy. He gets an ankle sprain, and then a week ago he gets a concussion. Now, sounds like he's healthy. But I think, with him being in and out, then the next quarterback's a young guy. It's just they look a little bit, getting in rhythm. If they get in rhythm, they got playmakers, and we've seen how that style of offense has given our defense problems.